Welcome to Father Fish and the Natural Aquarium.
Well, I love my little fish as they swim through their home, drifting through the water where the gentle currents roam. When the sunlight finds them, all their colors start to shine, painting little rainbows in this peaceful aquarium of mine. Oh, my heart goes floating as they wander to and from, through the plants and shadows where the sparkling waters flow. In their tiny world, I find a gentle kind of love, a little piece of heaven shining softly from above. I am happy just to sit and watch my little fish swim as the evening settles and the fading sunlight dim. My heart is full of wonder, peaceful as can be, in their gentle underwater world that's home to them and me.
Well, Heidi. Hello, hello, hello. Nice to see everybody. Good to be here. It is Tuesday, the end of the month of June, in the year of our Lord 2020. What year is it? 6. A big 250 is coming up this weekend. Mercy, mercy. I don't know what's going on, folks. I really don't know what's going on. It's the best of times and it's the worst of times. And it's hard to know sometimes what time it really is. What time is it? Glory. Let's see. Let me get into comments here, see who's here. Hello, nerds of fish, says Adam. I think we finally got your dedication in the mail to you today, Adam. That you'll be able to paste it right in the front of your book. It's made for that purpose. Scort, hello. Hello, Scort. Oh, let's see. Oh, and West WV Holler is here. Hello, Holler girl. The Viper is Indian almond leaves, good leaves for microorganisms and such. It is one of many. It has a lot of minerals in it, a lot of food value. It does not have everything. The benefit of multiple varieties of leaves is that multiple types of trees contain multiple varieties of nutrients. And so the wider the diversity of leaves in the tank, the wider the range of nutrients, and thereby the wider the diversity of microfauna can be fed. So I put it to you that, yeah, almond leaves are great. So are oak leaves and maple leaves and ash leaves and every other kind of leaf. Very few leaves are not of real value. The gist of it all is how can I put this nicely? The grave error of the farming industry in the 20th century, let's call it in the 20th century, was the belief that fertilizer created a nutrient-rich soil, and it clearly does not. Fertilizers are composed of 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 primary nutrients. whether mineral or biological, a very small number of nutrients. If we look at it just as minerals, there are more than 100 minerals on the earth. How many of those do plants need? The answer, very simply, is no one knows. No one knows. So it behooves us to make as many available as is possible in order to ensure that plants get what they need. Fertilizers don't cut it. Anyone involved in organic farming, which is increasingly taking over the farming industry due to the failure of fertilizers to enrich the soil, is aware that anyone involved in natural farming is aware that creating the biology and the chemistry for healthy soil is the key to healthy plants. And we do that by increasing the biodiversity in the soil, adding, for example, microbes, microbial life in the form of leaves, other forms of litter, broken down plants. All of that brings microbial life into the soil. Now, the same thing is true for the aquarium. The more organic material there is in the substrate, the greater the volume and diversity of microbial life is. And microbial life is the key to balancing an aquarium. You don't get a balanced aquarium by sucking dirt out. That doesn't give you a balanced anything. In point of fact, it creates the opposite of balance. It creates imbalance, which needs to be restored routinely with, dare I say it, water changes, because the water becomes so fouled by excessive nutrients that the system is incapable of digesting, that the water itself needs to be removed and replaced with new clean water in order to keep the animals alive in it. So it's doing the very opposite of what needs to be done in order to maintain a system that is fundamentally flawed. Now, the claim, well, there are lots of ways to keep fish, right? There are lots of ways to skin cats, right? There are lots of ways to live your life, right? Lots of ways to drive a car, lots of ways to do everything. There are lots of ways to do absolutely anything at all. Lots and lots and lots. Most of them are completely ineffective. Most of them. A few are not ineffective at all, but are in fact very effective. Those are the ones we're interested in, the ones that are effective. So this argument that, well, there are lots of ways to keep fish tanks. Well, of course there are. You can keep them by boiling water, putting it in the fridge and cooling it down and keeping your fish in that. And you can do it every single day. And mostly they'll live because fish are remarkably hardy animals. You can do about anything and get away with it for a while, but that doesn't make it a good system. It certainly does not make it the best system. We're interested in good systems. We're interested in the best systems, not the ones that are the most trouble, the most difficult to sustain, the ones that make you tired and make you want to quit the hobby. We're not interested in those kinds of systems. And the notion that that's the only choice there is pure foolishness. Pure foolishness. Need to get my book. I will get my book. I need a crutch. Let me let me get my book. Oh, is Brenda there? Bring me a book, Brenda. I'll walk off here and get my book. I don't know if she's back. She may not be back. She left earlier. Oh, you are back. I heard a voice. I didn't see the dog though. Usually the dog is here with you. Thank you. There, my crutch. This is all about how to do an aquarium in a way that is genuinely effective 100% of the time. It doesn't fail. It's really, really difficult to mess up too. Well, you can do it. You can mess it up. It can be done. It takes a remarkable level of carelessness and deliberate, what's the word I want? Deliberate failure, deliberate mismanagement, let's call it, in order to mess it up. I had a couple once who came into the shop, an older couple. They were rather elderly, and they were very frustrated because their aquarium was taking so much time and effort to maintain, and they wanted an easier way. Well, I sent them out the door with soil and dirt and instructions as to exactly how to do it. They came back in 2 days later, angry, wanted their money back. I had obviously given them bad advice and sold them a worthless system. When I asked them what happened, they said, well, it just turned into mud. It was all mud. So obviously they had done something that deliberately destroyed the very thing they were trying to create. They held a hose or their pitcher, whatever they were filling the tank with. After they put the dirt in and the sand, they just dumped water in willy-nilly, stirred everything up, made a total mess of it, and blamed me for the disaster. I gave them their money back and sent them over to PetSmart. That was, they were not only stupid, they were angry. They were angry at me for their stupidity. There is that kind of failure. And that kind of failure probably is inevitable. What's remarkable to me is how infrequently that occurs. I hear about that, once in a very great while. Somebody will say, oh, it just doesn't work. I've tried it and it doesn't work. And when you dig into it to find out what it is that's not working, they completely messed up the process. They didn't pay any attention at all. They just remembered seeing a clip of a video here and a clip of a second video here and figured, oh, I got it. So they mixed up mud and dirt and sand and everything, threw it in the tank and dumped water in. And it didn't work. Well, you know what? It would have worked if they'd let it sit there for a week or so. It would have worked just fine. But people like that are impatient. They want perfection without being willing to do the discipline required to create perfection, because Father Fish said it's automatic. You just do this, do that, and it's done. Well, right. Father Fish can be a twit too sometimes. Oh, well, enough of all that. Where are we? Let's get into something else. Adam Armbruster and Christian. Hey, Christian. Hi, Adam. God bless America, says Adam. And Scord says, hello, my friend Christian. And Fish Popper says, amen. Hi, Scort. Adam already reading the new book. Your dedication page is on its way to you. It got, I don't know what happened. The book got out um, before we realized it, and I was back. So you're getting a page that is a peel off label, a full page label. You put it right on the inside cover. Be a little careful, and it'll look like the real page. And I've written a dedication to you because I admire you so much and just deeply appreciate everything you've done for us. Oh, what's up, Fish Fam? Says Dylan Honey. Christian Honolulu. Scored. I got oak leaves, mulberry leaves, magnolia leaves in my parents' yard. Perfect, perfect. What's that? Oak, mulberry, and magnolia. Yeah, magnolia is a really good leaf. Ash or maple are also helpful, and you can use pine, but you want to make sure it's thoroughly dried. Fish family, and hello, my fellow fin-loving friends. Greg is Aquatics. Hello, Greg's. Fertilizer runoff is destroying natural aquatic environments. Yeah, that's right, and for that very reason, because it dumps huge volumes of a single element into an environment and simply overloads it. If farms or gardens that are natural environments can flood and wash the whole topsoil base into the creek, and it won't ruin it because it's balanced. It's what's already there. But if you dump any chemical in quantity into a body of water, you're going to foul it, which is the very problem with all the chemicals that are sold on store shelves to get dumped into fish tanks. What they really do is pollute the tank. Do you think it is necessary to have a dirt tank for building an ecosystem, or is sand and aqua soils also good? Well, it will take longer. I guess that's really the answer. It will take longer. Aqua soil is essentially minerals. Usually it's clay. It can also be other kinds of semi-soluble minerals that are baked and made and crushed, to which fertilizer is added. That's aqua soil in a nutshell. It's inert material crushed into little pellets and to which fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, is poured into it so it'll permeate the material. That is what aqua soil is. It depletes in a matter of 6 months to a year, to be generous, 4 to 6 months to be a little tighter about it. It depletes fairly rapidly, and the pellets that are created tend to dissolve. They tend to create a kind of mud. They sort of melt down. So aqua soil is really it's really not aqua soil by any stretch. It doesn't work well in a liquid and a water environment. It is not a soil. It's misnomered. It's just not what it claims to be. However, if you cap that with sand, you will create a nutrient trap. That's what the sand is. It's a nutrient trap. It's a mulm trap in which all of the waste precipitates into the sand. And as it does so, it builds a natural soil layer. So in 6 months to a year, you've got the beginning of a decent soil layer. So in that sense, it works. It would work pretty much just as effectively if you only use sand and did not use aqua soil at all. The difference is that aqua soil gives you about a 6-month kick of certain fertilizer materials that will grow stems or leaves. They won't grow roots particularly, and they won't grow flowers. They won't bud, but they will grow stems and roots. So that puts you, it gets you going right away. It by no means is as effective as a genuine soil with an enriched supplement. A genuine soil with an enriched supplement capped with sand will create a permanent, rich, deeply rich environment. There really is no comparison. Now, that genuine soil is not proprietary. The formula, we published the formula. The formula is nature itself. It's got 3 main components. The first component is plant material that's broken down. We use peat moss for that. Plant material that's broken down. Peat moss, any kind of mulched material that doesn't have sugars left in it. In other words, you can't cut grass and throw it in there because it'll rot too fast. It'll deteriorate and it'll foul the water. It has to be dried. So dried plant material, which is mulch. Number 2 is soil, any kind of soil, the soil from a forest, the soil from a garden, any soil. And that's 2 parts of the mulch, 1 part of soil. And then 1 part, we use finished compost. Pond mud is good, or any kind of very rich composted material. Pond mud is a composted material. It has been rotting at the bottom of the pond for sometimes generations. It's intense, very, very intense stuff. You combine those 3 in a ratio of 2 parts plant material, 1 part soil, 1 part compost. We use black cow because it's commercially available. It's easy to get. It works effectively. We could use chicken manure. Could use near anything for that. Pond mud. There are people who use pond mud. It's very effective. You don't want to overuse it though, because you can wipe this. It's too powerful. It's very powerful stuff. You put all that together, and that gives you a good foundation. Now, to that we add our supplement. The supplement also is something you can put together yourself. We have about 70 to 75 elements from the periodic table in that supplement, as many as we can possibly get. And it's small amounts of each. that are mixed together in a compound that gets added gingerly to the total substrate. So a pound of this material is enough to do 100-gallon tank. That would be probably 50 pounds, close to 50 pounds of soil and another, well, 100 pounds of soil and sand. 1 pound of this supplement. And again, you can make it yourself. It's the formula is available. You can change the formula, add to it stuff we don't have, change things out. Doesn't really matter. The idea is to get as many minerals as possible, as what, and then to that we add biologicals. Biologicals, very simply, are the gunk from a stream, a creek, a ditch, a pond, what's sitting on the top, the dead leaves, that's got all kinds of organic life in it. And you need organic life to make this whole thing work. So that's the formula. They put all that together. Doesn't matter what the water is. Whatever water you got, put it in the tank. It'll be fine. It'll balance out. Fish are very adaptable. They can adapt to a wide range of environments. What you don't want to do, however, is put fish that have been growing and living in hard water in 6.0 soft water, because they'll die in a matter of a minute. The water pressure between the two is so substantial that the cell walls in the fish, of the cells in the fish, will actually expand and tear, and the fish will die from the most horrible kind of death you could possibly imagine. Be like being thrown out into space without a spacesuit. So you don't want to go from hard to soft water, from a high pH to a 0 pH. You can go from a 0 pH to a high pH, and the fish will be just fine. Won't hurt them at all, because it compresses. It doesn't tear and rupture. It compresses, and they can handle that. Little stressful for a little while, but they're not being damaged by it. Most water is hard alkaline water. If you happen to have very soft acidic water, you know it because you've been dealing with it. Pardon? She's fucking. Read some comments. All right. Do you think it's necessary to have a dirt tank at that? She wants me to read comments. Who? Sports comment. All right. Sports comment. I see a face. It's always user error. Right. Receive my signed copy. Now to have it hermetically sealed. Greg, Guppy Guy, the Viper. I'll definitely try to make my established tank novel. Adam, thank you. Ben, scroll for the nitwits. Adam, I admire these. I'm not finding anything, Brendan. Since you're reading comments, I got some exciting news I wanted to share with you. Score. Oh, all right, here we go. Keep going. Don't forget to hit the like. Brenda, don't leave us hanging. David Bowman, having a lake here. North of Dayton. Crazy red algae bloom. We'll get back to that in a minute. That's a good point. Exciting news is me and my husband are expecting a new tank. You're getting a new tank? Oh, what, a big one? Oh, that's really exciting news. They're getting a big tank, guys. A baby tank. Oh, a nursery. You're getting a nursery. Where are we? I lost track of it. Like and subscribe buttons. Where are we? I got so excited it just jumped all around. Okay, here we go. Lake. Exciting news is me and my husband are expecting. Oh, Brenda said, baby. Oh, a baby. Oh, you're having a baby. Is this your first? Brenda's daughter, I'm sorry. Kind of my granddaughter. Brenda's daughter, she's my grandniece, is having a baby. So when is the due date? Is this a Christmas baby? We're having a Christmas baby around here. That's wonderful. Congratulations, Scott. That's a really exciting news. Very happy for you guys. Let's see. Hello, Kenny's here. Hi, Kenny. I'm pregnant, Father Fish. Oh, Oh, I get it now. I thought it was a fish. Well, it's so much better than a fish tank, actually. You have to get a fish tank to celebrate. And then you could get a big one so you can do a water birth in the fish tank. That would be exciting. I knew somebody who did that. Oh, let's see. Around February. Oh, wonderful. Well, congratulations. Sure, there is no better news. There is no better news in the world. There really is none. I guess that's why people get so excited when their fish have babies. It's like it's new life is just the most thrilling and exciting and remarkable miracle that happens to us. And we're all a part of it, of course. We were all a miracle once. Each one of us is a miracle, has been a miracle, and we're a wonder and a joy and a delight and an excitement to our parents. I know I was until I got to be about 4, I think. Then it somehow all changed. Got through the terrible 2s and hit 4. All right. So where was I? Well, I was off track. Let's do the algae bloom. We've got it happening here too in some of our tubs outdoors. We get algae blooms. Algae bloom. There are 2 things that occur with algae bloom. Algae bloom occurs because there are more nutrients in the water combined with more light coming into the water than the available microfauna and plants can use. And so the backup crew, it's actually 2 things. It's bacteria and it's algae. Those are the backup crew. The backup crew deals with the rest of the rot, everything else that's breaking down that the plants and the microfauna and the fish for that matter are not able to handle. That's where the balance needs to be. The balance is on the edge of algae and bacteria. So if you're starting to get algae, you're out of balance. One of the ways to resolve that is to reduce the light. Now, that will reduce the algae. It does not deal with the problem, though, because the problem is excess nutrients. So that could result then in bacteria taking over the job that the algae is doing and exploding in order to take care of the excess nutrient. So you wind up, in some ways, with a worse problem than you had with just algae. So balance is really critical. The solution typically is simply more plants and less food. More plants and less food. I've done lots of videos about more plants and less food. Stop feeding your fish. Fill your tank with plants. I mean, those are kind of overstatements of an obvious truth. The biggest single problem, too, that hobbyists have is not enough plants, because the reality is no animals can live in an environment where there are no plants. It can't be done. The nature system doesn't work that way. If you're going to have animals, it is an absolute requirement that there be plants present. The lack of plants being present means you're doing major water changes all the time, because you're pulling out all of the material that the fish are releasing into the water. You're just taking it all out. It's like you got a hose running in the tank 24/7. Well, it's worse than that. Here's what it is. You're treating your fish tank as if it were a toilet. You're flushing it. A water change is nothing more than flushing the toilet. So, you telling me you have to flush the toilet once a week? Why not do it every day? Why not do it every time you feed fish? Wait 10 minutes, flush it. Well, an hour, give them an hour. Most fish, that I'm not talking about real big fish that eat real big meals. Most of the fish we have in our tanks, the small-ish fish, will completely digest and expel whatever they've eaten in about 2 hours. Their alimentary canal works pretty quick. Now, that means they're not digesting everything. It's kind of moving through them, which is why fish eat all the time in the wild, in nature. They're pecking around all the time, looking for little animals, little microscopic animals, little bits of this and that have died, because they're creating waste on that continuing basis. So, to be true to the water change principle, you should do a water change 2 hours after you feed your fish. How much should you do? Well, in principle, it should be 100%. In principle, you should have a body of water ready so that you can take the fish out and put it in it, then drain that one and refill it. So every tank that you have fish in should have a duplicate, another tank just like it, that has nothing in it except water that's been standing there. If you feed once a day, it'll sit there for an hour. You take all the fish out, put it in it, drain this one, refill it. A day later, do the other. Flip them back and forth. That would be the ideal system for doing water changes. It would work absolutely perfectly. You would have absolutely clean water on a continuing, ongoing basis. Now, some people try to do that basically once a week, and they'll do maybe a 50% water change. It's okay. It's really not good enough. It's not perfect, you see. If you want to do water change system, do it perfectly. Get 2 tanks, one empty, one full. Keep the fish all in the one that's full, fill the other one, feed your fish 2 hours later, or even 1 day later. That would be okay too. One day later, move them into the new tank, feed them, empty this, refill it. One day later, move them back in the other one. If you do that every day, you will have a perfectly balanced, healthy tank consistently. I dare say there are people who will do that. And they'll figure they can get one over on Father Fish. They're just going to keep a 10-gallon tank. That's all. It'll be easy. Until about the second week, when you just get fed up with doing it. And that's the problem with the water change system. It is labor intensive. If you're not there every week on the dime, doing it, doing it, doing it, doing it, the minute you don't do it, your fish start dying. They get sick. You wind up with disease problems. This and that happens. The water starts to smell on and on and on. It is not a coherent, systematic, positive, helpful way to keep fish. It simply is not. Now, that's not to say I never do water changes. I do water changes. And I've got 100 tanks here. And I probably do water changes in 4 or 5 of them a week. That's about what? 4%, 4 to 5% of my tanks get a water change once a week. Times 25, that's 25 weeks. That's about 6 months. Is that right? Yeah, about 6 months. So my tanks get changed, water changes, on average about once every 6 months. That's probably about right. And part of the reason I have to do that is by nature of this being a shop, I don't have stable tanks. I've got fish coming in and out, plants coming in and out, people coming in and out, nets going in and out. Those things get torn up and ripped up and changed on almost a daily basis. What is amazing is that they can hold up as long as they can with all of that disturbance. And they do, they really do. They hold up for months. Once in a while, I'll get a tank that just fails. It'll reach a point where it's done. It's just tired. It can't handle it anymore. It's done. You put a fish in it, the fish dies. It's just gone through so much, you can't do it anymore. So that tank gets completely, all the plants get pulled out, water gets run down, clean the top of the substrate a little bit, put some fresh sand down, refill it, replant it, and it's good to go. That happens, I don't know, that happens probably, I would say once a month. About once a month, we have a tank like that. 1 out of 100. That's 1 out of 100 months. What's that, about 8 years? That has to be 8. Well, we haven't been here 8 years, so it really can't be that long. I don't know, it may be, it's not all of them. We've got some tanks set up here that have been set up for the 2.5 to 3 years we've been here that have never been changed, and they're perfect. It just something happens to certain tanks that need to be fixed. And you see it coming. It's not like it's a big surprise. It's an imbalance that occurs very slowly over a long period of time and finally just sort of catches up with you. You'll begin to see signs of it, and then all of a sudden, the signs will get worse and worse. You just deal with it when it happens. The balancing act is pretty good, generally speaking. Sometimes it fails. Sometimes things happen. Ain't none of us perfect, but it's We try to figure out why so we can correct for that so it doesn't happen again. And sometimes that happens. One of the things I've noticed is that there seem to be certain tanks that, and I've noticed this my whole life, there are certain tanks you cannot keep fish in. You'll dry it out, clean it out, set it back up a year later, put fish in it, and it fails. I've had a few tanks like that over the years that could not keep fish in. After the second or third try, I got rid of the tank. That one didn't go to the curb. I wouldn't curse anyone else with that. I took a hammer to it, destroyed the tank, so it could never kill fish again. I really do have that kind of attitude. I really do. Beware, beware, be very wary. But it's rare. It doesn't happen often. I would not do that to a person, by the way. I would rather call the police or move or somehow divorce myself in some meaningful way from whatever that curse was. All right, what are we doing here now? We're having babies. They're gonna. Are we past the babies? Have a tank kills everything but cories and plecos. Interesting. Interesting. Who said this? This is Stan Pittman. Cories and plecos, both of which are what? Both of which are air breathers. They both come to the surface for air. Now that's the common, I need to turn the light on here. Some light just went out somewhere. And it made it dark. Hold on a second. Oh God. My legs. I got it. I'm on. I'm up. Oy. All right, I'm back. I went to the leg doctor today. He's been trying to shut down my veins. And I went in for another shutdown. He said, "Oh, it's not working. Great, wonderful." So I've got this therapy on my legs where they stop the blood from flowing. They cut it. It's true. It's called vein restoration. They cut off exterior or surface veins in order to get the blood pumping through the deeper veins in the leg. Don't ask me why. I don't understand. I just do it. It is the weirdest therapy I think I've ever been through. It's like having a bug crawling around inside your leg. Very strange sensation. It doesn't exactly hurt. It's more weird. Call a plumber. Right, exactly. That's what they are. They're plumbers. 2 sponge filters and plenty of air. Isn't that funny? 2 sponge filters and plenty of air. Well, it may not be just oxygen. There may be something else that's some other, maybe a gas that's being absorbed through the gills. There's something else in there that's affecting the gilled fish that is not affecting the fish that are not gilled. Think about that for a minute. That'll make you nuts. You have a wild gas in your tank. I mean, I don't know that that's true, but my mind tends to go in that kind of direction, looking for something that would explain the phenomenon. And then you test for it. And you can test for it. Basically, I would test for it by putting them in a different tank and see if you have the same problem. Because if you don't, then there's something in that tank that's doing it. And it probably is some kind of something that is dissolved in the water like oxygen, that is being taken up through the gills of the fish, that's not being taken up by the cories of the plecos, because they don't breathe the same way. So same principle. Any recommendations for a cold water 5 gallon? G. Put it outside. If this is a native system, put it outside. You may need to pull it in for the winter if it gets really cold. I mean, to the point where it could freeze. The problem with putting a tank outside is that if it freezes, it'll break. If it freezes solid, so you can't get away with that. It's true with plastic tubs too. If they freeze solid, they'll break. So if you're in an environment that has that kind of problem, who's calling me? Don't know. Whoever it was gave up, which is good. Let me get back to something here. Fish recommendations. Oh, oh, what kind of, well, what's native? Where are you from? What part of, just go out and collect locally. If unless you're in the deep south or something, cold water 5 gallon, California, north or south, there is a difference. Are you in warm climate or a cold climate? I really like native tanks. I was visiting a school, a local elementary school, about a week ago. They wanted to replace a big 150-gallon tank. And I was talking to them about, gave them the book, was talking to them about a natural tank, and they were ho-hum until I said, you could do a brackish tank. And they kind of looked at me sideways. What, crabs and stripers? What? Well, pipefish, seahorses, sticklebacks, little tiny flatfish, flounders, little eels, like 2 inches long eels, tiny crabs that only get that big, all sorts of shrimp, gobies, several different species of goby. There are probably 50 to 100 different species of very small animals in the brackish water here in Chesapeake Bay that are absolutely magnificent in a natural brackish water tank. So they got very excited about that, particularly when I said, yeah, the kids are mucking around in the bay all the time because they're right there on the White River. Whatever they can catch stuff and bring it in, put it in the tank and watch it thrive. Well, I got them. I nailed them to the wall. They called me today and said, where's your proposal? We want your proposal. So I'm turning at a price on a tank and get that proposal into them. Oh, I got something else to show you. Check this out. I visited an old friend yesterday who has a koi pond, and that he has 20 koi like that. That koi is 2 foot long, and that's not the biggest one in the pond. He has koi that are 25 years old. There are 2 of them in there. You can kind of see part of the other one's a little smaller. So he wants to sell them. I said, you're not going to get your money for them probably, unless you have somebody who's really in a position to know where that market is. But you could donate them to like the National Arboretum or even the local zoo where they would be cared for, and you can get a tax deduction on them. So that was yesterday. By today, they had been making phone calls and I think, have found a source. I managed to snag two, which I'm going to hold on to as long as I can. But they're stunning, stunning, stunning fish. 25 years old. They're in about a 5,000 gallon pond. How are we doing here? We got about 5 minutes. Oh, yeah. Kenny's been a member of the Father Fish channel for going on 6 years. Long as I've been around these environs. If we get back up here, why? Oh, there we go. All right. Let's see. The cold water. Look for native fish. Get out with a minnow net or a minnow trap, and start catching local stuff. See what's out there. Put that in your tank. 5 gallons is not very big. That's kind of tiny. You're not going to be able to get a whole lot in it. But if you'll do it and set it up with native material, you get 5 gallons of water. Get dirt from the bottom, the sand. Bring that sand in. Put the sand in. Put the water in. Get whatever plants are out there, whatever little fish, crustacean, whatever you can find. Put them in there. Do it as a 100% native tank. And then just put a little water pump in it to make some water flow, or nothing at all. You'll be amazed how stable that will be and how effective it'll be. I've got one here, 40 gallon, that's brackish, just terrific. Let's see. Let me see what else is here. Is there anything else I need to look at, Brenda? Can you call Fish Story and bring him in on the live being too upset? Well, it's too late now. I can do that. You know what I might do? I haven't talked to him in a while. I might give him a call and see if he'd like to do our club program next month. Get him live. We live stream that, so it'd be simple enough to get him up on the live stream. And I did that for the Venice Club meeting last week. It was really great fun. I will do that. I will give him a call. I haven't talked to him in months. His health has improved significantly from what I've seen, and he's doing really well with his channel. So he'll probably have some exciting stuff to talk about. I will do that. What else we got here? Nice to have you with us, Kenny. Hello from France, Lisa. Hello, Lisa. Nice. All right. Enough of all this. Let's play another song. Shall we play another song? Media assets. Let's see. We got another one here. I played it once or twice. Like it as well as the other one. I don't like it. Aha! This is down home at the lake.
I love my little fishy as they swim about their own. When the sunlight shines upon them and their colors begin to glow bright and draw me to the world where my heart wants to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishy as they swim about their own. Their fins are flashing, scales are gleaming, silent stories gently streaming. so serene.
So serene.
A peaceful heaven, a tranquil scene. I imagine scenes of beauty
Come on,
and
baby,
feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishy as they swim about their home.
Oh, yeah.
Little bubbles rising slow, a gentle current to and from. My heart finds solace in their grace, a smile upon my weary face. I imagine scenes of beauty and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishy as they swim about their home. Swim on, my little fishy, swim on your beauty bright.
That's all. And I love you all. Love you all. Bye.